Saturday Social is powered by EA Sports FIFA 23 with PlayStation.
It's not been a great week, is it? It's not been a great week. I think that's an understatement. Obviously, losing to Wolves the week before, you went out of the FA Cup, then you went out of the Champions League this week against AC Milan. Antonio Conte is not happy either, is he? There were some pretty powerful quotes after the game against Milan. We can have a look at them now. My contract expires in June, he said. We will see. They might sack me before the end of the season. Who knows? Maybe they are disappointed. He's not the only one who had some punchy stuff to say after the loss to Milan. Richarlison also chiming in this season, excuse the word, but it's been a word I can't say at 9 a.m. because I don't have the minutes. He goes on to say that he's not happy about it. Antonio Conte has since then come out and agreed with Richarlison that he's not had a good season. So not a good time for Tottenham at the moment. Yeah, sorry, 10 a.m. And yeah, even then I still couldn't say those
Just
words.
trying to change the subject, aren't I?
Let's talk about our first trend then. And it's quite simple because there's lots of chat about Conte's future. Who's going to be the Spurs manager next season? Stephen?
Not Conte.
Not Conte.
He's begging to be sacked, isn't he? He wants that severance pay. He really does. Do you know what? The managers we were just talking about, Thomas Frank and De Zerbi, I reckon they'll be definitely mentioned. But still, I think it's going to be Poch. Every Spurs fan I know wants him back, like desperately. Are you the same? Do you want him back?
It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because I think with Conte, a lot needs to be. There's a realisation he's had a very difficult year personally. Obviously, he's lost 3 friends. He's had the gallbladder surgery. I think it's been a very tough year for him off the pitch, which often is not spoken about. And I think he has done a good job. Getting Tottenham in the Champions League was a great achievement. Whether or not he'll be at Tottenham next season, obviously no one knows at this stage. Pochettino, the Spurs fans you've spoken to, you've just said want him.
They seem to love him, yeah. Like I think
he's got a strong affection with a lot of Spurs fans. You are right in that.
Yeah, I think he's associated with good times, isn't he? And like he's a really good manager, of course, as well. I don't think it's really worked for him.
They always say never go back, though, don't they?
They do, don't they? But
what does Specs think? Because obviously Specs is the Arsenal fan, and he's.
Poch?
No, I don't believe in returns anymore. No more returns. The last time I saw Undertaker return, it wasn't good. So we should never do returns. So I think that Tottenham should go for Will Still, the manager of Rems. Hasn't got his badges.
Unbeaten in 19
Tottenham
games.
can pay the 25,000.
Is he the guy that's getting fined all the time?
He's the youngest manager in Europe's top 5 leagues. He's only 30 and he's unbeaten in 19 games. But every time he coaches, Rem have to pay a €22,000 fine because he doesn't have his UEFA Pro licence.
And
so he couldn't technically manage Tottenham unless they were willing to eat the cost every single week of a Premier League fine.
That's my guy.
I like the fact he gave an Undertaker reference. So he loves his WWE. Then
I do, of course.
So Will Still, which would be a big move, or Poch, never go back. Tottenham fans, let us know who you would go for.
Will Still or Poch? Interesting shouts there from Specs.
I'll go Frank.
You go Thomas Frank?
Thomas Frank, yeah.
Just interesting, Thomas, just quickly, you both said Thomas Frank or Robert De Zerbi. Which one, Robert De Zerbi?
I think Thomas Frank makes more sense for him, I reckon. I think just the way that he plays, it suits Spurs. I think in general that style of football would really suit Spurs. And I think Spurs as well, it's that sort of money ball approach that Brentford famously have would suit Spurs. So I think everything about the way he plays is just set for them.
Agreed.
Roberto De Zerbi, Thomas Frank, 2 top managers we discussed earlier on this show. Sticking with the Champions League, our next trend, another team that were eliminated this week, and it's PSG, who incredibly have still never won the Champions League. And when you think of the amount of money they spend, and also the players they have available. So we can have a look at PSG's Champions League run. Now, this is since 2016. Obviously, they got to that final, losing narrowly to Bayern that year. But if you look at the run since 2016, 5 times of the last 7 competitions, they've gone out in the round of 16, which PSG fans are not happy about. And it prompted this reaction about Kylian Mbappe from Jamie Carragher. Jamie Carragher saying Mbappe has got to leave that club. So trend number 2, quite simply, inspired by our friend Jamie Carragher, is should Mbappe leave PSG? Specs, what are your thoughts?
Yes, he should leave. I think to be the best player in the world, you've got to play in at least the best league in the world. And he needs to come to the Prem. And listen, the last time I watched Mbappe, he played against a team called Toulouse. So there you go.
It's such a cheap joke. It's so
Another team is called Nice.
Nice. There's a team called Lion. Yeah. So I don't. You can't be. You can't play against these teams. I'm sorry.
So where can he go though?
Where in the
Premier League? It's a big move in the Prem to get Mbappe.
Honestly, if it was my choice, Newcastle.
Come on, he's not going to go Newcastle.
Why not? Newcastle on the rise.
Look, if we have to do it, I'll take him. You know, someone has to take him.
Haaland and Mbappe.
No, I think he should probably move on as well. Is he going to sell himself though? You know what I mean? Like, because obviously he pretty much runs PSG.
Will he go? Though? I know that we're talking about should he leave. Do you think Mbappe will leave PSG?
Yes.
It's part of him as a person, isn't it? It feels like he's a fan of the club as well. I feel he feels a bit responsible as well for PSG because obviously, apparently he's got that sway as well at the top level now, part of his contract. I don't think he's going to. I think Neymar and Messi will leave before he does, personally.
Okay.
It's a big money move, that one, isn't it?
It's a monster.
Wages and fee, everything.
Well, he nearly left to Madrid, didn't he?
We
On that free transfer.
We could afford him now with his wages.
Good point.
Exactly. He's not going to come cheap. Let's go to another club, though, who have done a lot of transfer business. Mbappe potentially to Chelsea, maybe, one day in the future. Doubt it. But they have had an improved week, haven't they? Obviously, they beat Leeds and then they progressed through the Champions League, beating Borussia Dortmund as well. It was a big, big victory.
Yeah,
that was it. And after the game, Graham Potter had this to say.
It can pretty quickly spiral into not a pleasant situation. So everybody has to stick together then, and we have to suffer together and find a way through. And I think the players have done that in an incredible way. And like I said, a big thanks to the supporters because they were amazing tonight, and they helped us on Saturday and they've helped us this evening. So brilliant for everybody connected with the club.
The owner's here. Have you spoken to him?
Gary, hang on. Sorry?
The owner is here. Have you spoken to him?
Yeah, I have you.
How is he?
I'm still here. I'm still here. Where you go?
I
like Graham Potter.
I actually really like Graham Potter. He's,
fair play.
He's dealt with it really well, I think.
Yeah.
And do we now think, the question I'm going to ask, has he turned Chelsea's season around? Are they back on the redemption path?
He needs another 5 games before we can decide that, you know. I mean, the expectation is ridiculous given everything that they've done. And to be fair, that's fair. If you do something unprecedented, you have to have an unprecedented reaction to it. You know, like the money that they've spent. And it's coming from a City fan, you know, so I can admit that. It's just been absolutely insane. So I kind of hope he does well for him because, once again, I really like his background. I've been obsessed with him since he was over in Sweden as well, like his whole humanitarian background and all that kind of stuff. He's just a fantastic person and a great manager. But Chelsea, he's just such a poison chalice for managers sometimes, and if he does it, it's not going to be easy, and if he does it, he would have deserved it, you know, because that is going to be difficult. Yeah.
Specs?
Yeah, I think he's turned it around. I think the Chelsea players are trying. I think it's going to be another Di Matteo story. I think he'll go win the Champions League.
Really?
Yeah, and then he'll be out.
Wow. You think so? This season they're going to finish ninth or wherever they end up finishing, 8th potentially, but they win the Champions League.
It's so Chelsea, wouldn't it? Wouldn't be surprised.
So Chelsea. It's just it's Chelsea's culture.
But do you think they've got the squad to do that? Because you looked at their result, you know, against Dortmund. Yes, they got through the game, but they've not been playing particularly well. And you think back to that Di Matteo run, you know, with the players in the team, like the Lampards, the Drogbas, is a very different type of group.
I still think there's individuals at Chelsea that can. I still think Sterling hasn't showed his best, so he's a player that can take you there. João Felix has got quality, you know. Enzo Fernandez. There's still players there that are similar to the players you just mentioned under Di Matteo. So I think they can go and shock the world by winning Champions League.
Incredible, wouldn't it?
Also, Chelsea had injuries in that final, didn't they? They won under Di Matteo and suspensions and stuff. But it'll be fascinating to see Specs calling that Chelsea will win the Champions League.
The first English manager to the Champions League, right?
Come on.
Would be pretty
anyway,
crazy.
moving on to trend number 4, Joe, because it is about the emphatic 7-0 drubbing of Manchester United. Did you see that one?
Yeah,
from Liverpool. So before we talk about that, we want to see how Sky Sports' very own Jamie Carragher and Gary Neville reacted to the last few goals. We haven't got time to show them all because there were so many. Have a look at this.
Another one for Nunez. It's 5 here. So it's 2 goals to his name, 2 headers, Darwin Nunez. Salah, it's 6. Oh, that's the one they wanted. That is the cherry on the icing on the cake.
My favourite bit about that was Carragher was off mic and you can still hear his high-pitched laugh.
I know.
Stephen loved that, by the way. He really enjoyed that.
Wonderful.
So a lot of people, I mean, that was trending on social media for days. Loads of memes, loads of comments.
People were shouting out at me out of vans.
I heard someone shouted it down the street, didn't they?
I was just van drove past and went 7-0.
That was Stephen.
Just shouted at everyone until it hits.
That was you, wasn't it?
Yeah. I came on to.
But a lot of people are calling that one of the most shocking results in Premier League history. So our question is exactly that. What is the most shocking result ever in Premier League history? Specs, I'm coming to you first.
Ooh, in history, I'm going to say West Brom 5, Manchester United 5.
Ooh, okay.
10 goals in the game, and Man United were winning 5. They were 5-2 up.
I think that was Sir Alex Ferguson's last game.
Was.
Romelu Lukaku scored
a hat-trick.
Yeah.
For me, that was 10 goals. That was like a secondary school match.
Yeah. To be honest with you, that was an epic game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like classic Ferguson final moments.
I've got to go for 6-1 at Old Trafford.
I thought you might say that.
That was, we were the noisy neighbours at the time, and Fergie was like, not when I'm alive and all that kind of stuff. And then we turned up, absolutely spanked them, you know, at Old Trafford, and it was wonderful.
Specs hasn't mentioned the 8-2.
That's interesting, got under the radar.
I deleted that from my history, man. I was behaving like Gary Neville. Like with my family.
Okay, let's move on. I've had enough about Man United. Let's move on to our fifth and final trend. This is about Victor Osimhen, who is, of course, crushing it in Serie A right now for Napoli, as they are just waltzing their way to a Scudetto. 26 goals in all competitions for the big man. And, you know, recently, I thought he made some really interesting comments. Let's give him a listen.
Playing in one of the top 5 leagues in the world is amazing feeling for me and a good feat. But of course, a lot of people worldwide consider the Premier League as the best and the strongest league. But of course, I'm on a process. I'm in a phase. So now I'm in one of the best league in the world, which is the Italian Serie A. Of course, I'm working so hard to make sure that I achieve my dream in playing, of course, in the Premier League someday.
I think
interesting.
Bold claim,
yeah,
isn't it? You know,
big
smashing it in Naples right now, but willing to come out and say that he wants to play in the Premier League and it's his dream. So let's ask the question, which Premier League club needs Victor Osimhen the most?
United, Arsenal, Chelsea, those 3 immediately. City, all right, we've got Ireland, Liverpool will be fine, we've got goal scorers. Chelsea are crying out for a striker, aren't they? Because obviously while Felix is more of a false 9, Havertz not really the guy. But Arsenal, he could be the killer who gets from 30 goals a season, because Jesus ain't that man, so...
Yeah, Jesus play wide as well, Carlos.
Yeah, but he's never going to be a 30-goal-a-seseason guy, you know. He just isn't. As much as I love him, he's more of a secondary striker. But I think United will get Kane, so...
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, if United get Kane, then Osimhen has to go Tottenham.
Wow, Smithy is excited about that one.
I didn't like your Kane going to United shout originally, though.
It's going to happen,
like that one.
Good luck affording Osimhen this summer. He is going to cost
but United need... If United don't get Kane, United need him. He's the best number 9 in the world, of course.
Is he the best number 9 in the world right now, Osimhen?
100%.
Who do you think United fans would rather? Because I've seen this debate, Kane or Osimhen. I've seen this debate on social media.
The thing about Osimhen is because he's younger, he's obviously got that ceiling that people think. Like the shiny new toy, isn't it? Whereas Kane, you know, just
it's very Van Persie-esque, isn't it, though? Like Kane to you, like, he just reminds you when Ferguson signed Van Persie.
He also fits quite well into that Ten Hag system, Kane, where you've seen Weghorst playing, you know, at times as a 10 and can move in, and Rashford can go in there.
You love Weghorst, don't you?
I love Weghorst.
I like him too.
Love Weghorst. We should have had him in the underrated.
There we go.